What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Tackle Talk Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about the easiest bait to throw inshore for fish. Redfish, trout, flounder, snook, doesn't really matter. The paddletail swim bait. The paddletail swim bait is a very versatile bait, and it's very simple to throw. If you're just getting into artificials, start with this. It's just a catch and retrieve. The action is built into the tail, so you can throw it against the structure, throw it out into the channel wherever you're fishing at, and just reel it in. Depending on the depth, you can give it a few seconds of pause, let it sink a little bit. If you're fishing deeper, let it sink all the way, as deep as you want, and then start your retrieve. And as you come across, the tail catches water and vibrates, goes back and forth. And these particular baits have a little bit of body roll too, so they put off a lot of vibration. And they're a good search bait. You can cover a lot of water with them. They're a faster bait. You don't have to work them real slow. You can just, if you're really searching for fish, throw a swim bait and you go along until you find the fish, and then you can slow down with something else. You can also, like I said, they're versatile, so you can also let them sink all the way to the bottom, and they'll bounce on the bottom with the tail up in the air. It's a fantastic way to catch flounder. But these are a very versatile bait and very user-friendly. Tons of different options of colors. I mean, that may be your hardest decision on what color to use. But good simple tip: lighter cut conditions, lighter color; darker conditions, darker color. And that's water conditions and the sky. So if it's cloudy out, you want to use a darker color. If it's sunny out, you want to use a lighter color. If you're fishing in clear water, you want to use a lighter color. If you're fishing in tannic water or dark water, you want to use a darker color. So same at night. If you're fishing at night, you probably want to use a darker color. However, white with a red jig head is kind of universal, and it will pretty much work in just about all the conditions. It'll work in dark water, it'll work in light water, it'll work at night, it'll work in the day. Cloudy conditions, light conditions. I don't know what it is about white and red, but it's a classic color combination, and it's been around since the dawn of fishing with lures for a reason. It's a good color combination. But if you're just getting into artificial fishing, paddletail swim bait is the place to start. And the way I use it is, I fish mostly shallower water, so I find my point of where, if I'm fishing grasses or in oyster beds or whatever, I'll find my point and I'll get about far enough off the bank that I'm casting almost to the bank, but not quite. I don't want to get tangled up, and then I just give it a slow retrieve back to me. Every once in a while you can give it a little twitch if you want to, but again, it's not necessary. You can twitch it the whole time if you want to, but again, not necessary. Everything's built into the tail. You're just a cast and reel. So, and whenever you feel a thump, you set the hook on the fish. It's not a circle hook, so you gotta get that hook penetrated through the fish's lips. But as far as just simplicity and ease of use, and a good transition from live bait to artificial baits, go pick up a bag of these. Now, a downside to these is, if there's bluefish in the area, you're going to go through a bunch of them. They're going to bite the tails off, and so if you're getting a lot of tail biters and you're losing baits, go ahead and stop using them, because the bluefish are just going to go through your whole bag of baits, and it's just going to leave you with nothing. Switch over to something else, a hard bait or something like that, if bluefish are in the area. But besides that, these baits will last a long time. You'll catch quite a few fish on one bait. So, if it's something you've never done before, go down to your local bait shop and grab a pack of paddletails and a jig head and go out and start casting. And you can do it from the bank too. Always cast into the current. If you're fishing in an area where there's current, cast into the current, let the bait come back with the current. You don't want to cast against the current. And if you have to cast across the current, cast up current, let it kind of drift back down across towards you. So you don't want it to be going against the current. Most fish face into the current whenever they're just sitting still waiting for something to come, so you don't want it to come across their backs. But into the current, and slow steady retrieve, you'll catch fish. These are excellent baits. Inshore, freshwater, bigger ones are great offshore. This is a small size to use offshore, but they make big paddletails, and they're great for offshore. You can troll them. They're great if you're just wanting to get from point A to point B. Throw on a paddletail and troll them from point A to point B. They're just a good all-around bait. Thanks for watching.